Well, I'm not conscious of actually praying. I don't think about praying particularly. I used to pray a lot when I was a member of the Church of England. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I left the Church of England, because in the end, I couldn't say the words of the prayers. They just stuck in my throat. It wasn't something I was happy to say. I thought that so much of what was being said was about the institution of the church and went against what Jesus would have thought. And I used to find that at the end of the service that I got to a sense of calm and spirituality despite what was being said in prayer, not because of it somehow. And so when I went to Quakers, I was attracted to Quakers because there isn't a set prayer, there isn't a set thing to do, there are no particular rituals, and nobody's ever told me what they do. So I've kind of made it up as I've gone along, really. And I've always said to myself that I want it to be spontaneous, and so I try not to have any kind of a program or pattern to what I do. So when I first go into the Quaker meeting, I usually notice who's there in the room and sit very quietly. Try not to let clutter and thoughts get in the way too much. I sometimes use techniques from meditation to calm myself, to regulate my breathing. And at some point in the hour, I'll get a feeling of peace of one kind or another. And I always know when I'm in the space, and when I'm in that space, it's almost like I can look back at things that I've been thinking about at other times, and it's just, things are so much clearer, and I'm so much more loving and so much more balanced and so much more creative when I'm in that space. And so I often get insights that stay with me for the rest of the week. And sometimes I notice that there's a particular thought that keeps pressing itself on me. And I feel compelled to stand up and speak. And I try not to, because it mustn't come from your head. It mustn't be something you've thought about and planned. It's got to come from the Spirit in the actual meeting itself. And so I always try to tell it to go away. And then if it doesn't, then I begin to take it a little bit more seriously. And quite often it's accompanied by heart pounding and a feeling of compulsion that this is something I've got to do. So often when I get to my feet, it's with a feeling of, oh no, not again. And I'll stand and speak just with the flow of whatever needs to be said. It feels like I'm expressing something that's not just about me. It's about the communal experience of everybody being together in the room. And I'll say it and sit down, and then usually I'll calm down afterwards. And very, very often people will come up to me at the end and say, well, that's what I wanted to hear, or that was, thank you for your ministry. And sometimes somebody else will stand up and they'll pick up what I've been talking about and add to it in ways that are really valuable for me too, which is lovely. And I think I can honestly say that I've never got to the end of a Quaker meeting without feeling that I've got something meaningful that I don't get anywhere else. Sometimes it's at the 11th hour. There's been a few times where I've thought, it's not going to happen this week, and then it has done. Always does, always does. And when the children come in at the end, they're such an expression of joy and spontaneity and life and delight that it just rounds everything off. And is that me praying? I don't know. But that's what I do.